Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Following the deception, Willow and Chase turn dark, as well as towards one another. According to General Hospital rumors, Willow Corinthos will be devastated when she discovers Drew Quartermain slept with her mother Nene Reeves. Willow currently sees Drew as a knight in shining armor, but the reality will eventually come out. Nina has been persuaded to reveal the truth to Willow, who is living with her in the aftermath of her affair. To her credit, Nina has pondered speaking the truth and gotten close, but she is still deceiving her daughter. The longer this goes on, the more difficult it will be for Willow, and someone will need to assist her bear the weight. Who will help Willow heal? Consider this: Willow not only cheated on her husband Michael Corinthos with Drew, but she chose the man who was also sleeping with her mother. When she hears this news, she will collapse like a pile of bricks. Willow will be hurt and humiliated. It's impossible to say who she'll despise more, her cheating so or her horrible mother. Willow needs a hero. The truth will be compounded by the fact that Willow and Nina have grown closer after a long apart. This explains Nina's reluctance to come honest. Willow turns to one man in particular, Harrison Chase. He, too, will soon be confronted with an inconvenient fact, and as they say, misery loves company. They have history, and it may be time for the show to revisit what it left unfinished years ago. Will Chase be the one who saves Willow? Fans know something Chase doesn't. His wife never informed him she had a baby with his closest friend when they were both teenagers. In a twisted bit of soapy rewriting, Brooklyn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri did more than just marry the knot at summer camp. Giovanni Gio Palmieri, their secret love kid, now lives with them at the Q home. This deception is about to blow, and Chase will be crushed. Who will Cyrus kill next? This week's General Hospital spoilers reveal that not everyone will have a nice Valentine's Day. Although many Port Charles residents are celebrating the holiday with a special party at the Savoy, it is difficult to unwind with Cyrus on the loose. As he prepares to take his next life, Jocelyn and Liz find themselves in his sights. But who is in harm's way when the guns are fired? Happy Valentine's Day, Curtis says to the audience at the Savoy, introducing the band behind him. Portia is spending the evening with her spouse, as Lucas and Brad applaud next to one another. Brooklyn and Spinelli are also present, implying the presence of their partners unless Chase is on duty. Chase and the rest of the PCPD have their job cut out for them because, while everyone knows Cyrus is the one who has been killing people at the hospital and turning woods, there isn't enough evidence to bring him in. As he sits in his cabin, he prepares another syringe of digitalis. But who is it intended for? We believe Cyrus has killed at least 5 people, Liz informs Anna, who is already well aware of the villain's recent string of murders. And he's not going to stop killing until somebody stops him. Anna has been attempting to prevent anyone from going off on their own and tarnishing the investigation because she wants an airtight case against Cyrus. But will Liz listen? Because Jocelyn is one of those who refuses to listen to the commissioner and is determined to obtain justice for Dex at whatever cost. And after being told the address of Cyrus' rented cabin, she wasted no time rummaging about. Unfortunately, Cyrus returns and catches her in the act. He also knows Liz is onto him, so when she opens her front door and sees Cyrus standing there with a nasty expression on his face, she has every right to fear for her life. However, shots have been fired this week, raising the possibility that Cyrus is finally being taken down. Or has he gone from drugs to bullets? Secrets, lies, and the impending fallout. Sasha Gilmore Corbin had spent the most of her life battling for stability, only to find herself once again on the verge of catastrophe. She had sworn to raise her baby on her own, determined not to let her past haunt her child's future. Michael Corinthos had sworn to stand by her decision, but that was before everything happened. Now, as he struggled to heal from his injuries, their carefully prepared lie began to unravel. Jason Morgan, ever the guardian, stepped in without hesitation. He knew Michael wouldn't want Sasha to face scrutiny alone, especially since he was in no condition to explain their decisions. And so, Jason did what he usually did: he took on a burden that was not his to bear. But secrets like this did not remain hidden forever. a deception set in stone. By the time Michael felt healthy enough to return to his life, a complete story had been crafted. Port Charles has acknowledged Jason Morgan as the father of Sasha's child. Friends, family, and even adversaries had come to believe that Jason, ever the honorable man, had stood up when it wasn't necessary. Some praised his devotion, while others questioned his motivations, but none knew the truth. For Sasha, dishonesty had served as both a shield and a prison. With Jason's name tied to her child, the Quartermaines and the mafia world remained at a distance. However, the weight of the untruth increased with each passing day. Michael's recuperation indicated that the time for truth-telling was approaching. And when it finally came out, the consequences would be nothing short of devastating. Who will survive the fallout? Willow Corinthos and Drew Quartermaine would consider the disclosure a betrayal. They had already been through their share of scandals, with their personal affair putting them at odds with the family. The fact that Michael and Sasha had done exactly what they were convicted for would be a tough pill to swallow. The hypocrisy would be obvious. Those who had condemned Willow and Drew would have to reevaluate their decisions. If Willow and Drew were punished for their actions, so would Michael and Sasha. But where did this leave Jason? Some consider him as a noble guardian, shielding Sasha from unwarranted scrutiny. Others, however, would ask why he willingly put himself in the scenario. Did he do it entirely out of loyalty to Michael, or was there something else going on? Then there was Tracy Quartermaine, who never missed an occasion to stir the pot. She had warmed up to Sasha in recent months, but the discovery that he had been sleeping with a Quartermaine while working for them? That was bound to change things. Tracy had a habit of making life unpleasant for anyone who crossed her, and Sasha was about to discover exactly how merciless the matriarch could be. The Cody Bell factor. Ironically, none of this would have happened without Cody Bell. His caustic tongue started the controversy when he publicly criticized Jason for not owning up to fatherhood. His casual accusation had driven Jason into a corner, requiring him to act before the story spread further. Cody may not have intended to start an avalanche, but he did. And now, as the truth loomed on the horizon, there was no stopping what would happen next. The war to come. This was about more than just Sasha's kid. This was about loyalty, trust, and the distinction between right and wrong. People would take sides. Relationships would be tested. Finally, the truth would change Port Charles forever. Tracy Quartermaine was never one for maternal emotion. Her approach to motherhood had always been pragmatic and measured. Ned Quartermaine had experienced the brunt of that alienation, being sent to boarding institutions and nurtured on privilege rather than parental affection. But Dylan Quartermaine? He had been a different story, or so she had convinced herself once. Tracy hadn't mentioned Dylan's name in years. She was fixated on everyone except him. Violet Finn, Sasha Corbin, and Cody Bell, an unusual trio for a lady not known for her emotional investments. But then, as if by a force beyond her control, she said his name. And in that instant, a possibility began to emerge. Tracy was not one for idle nostalgia. If she was thinking about Dylan after all this time, it could only indicate that something, or someone, was about to bring him back to Port Charles. The ghosts of young love. Dylan's time in town was not without its dramatic twists. Many people remembered his teenage infatuation with Georgie Jones, which captivated hearts before tragically ending. But much fewer remembered his brief but crucial relationship with Lulu Spencer. Their relationship was quick, reckless, and ultimately devastating. A moment of teenage love had resulted in an unwanted pregnancy, a decision, and finally, an end. Lulu had decided to terminate the pregnancy, which had permanently altered their paths. Dylan vanished shortly after, only to reappearance years later, engrossed in the whirling world of the Spencer family's endless escapades. He had attempted in vain to restart something with Lulu, but by then, she had been seriously involved with Dante Falconeri. That chapter appeared to be closed. But now, with Lulu no longer in a coma but still missing from her old life, and Dante left to mourn, the door had cracked open once more. What would Dylan find if he walked through it? The Cassadine connection, a surprising twist. Charlotte Cassadine had always been a mystery cloaked in a legacy of secrets. Raised under the dark shadows of the Cassadine dynasty, her origins had always been linked to Valentine Cassadine's surrogacy narrative and Helena Cassadine's devious maneuvers. For years, it was widely assumed that Charlotte was formed from an embryo stolen from Lulu, a piece of her daughter she had never agreed to bring into the world. What if the tale was a lie? Helena Cassadine was no stranger to deception, and she possessed the ability to manipulate fate to her advantage. What if the embryo she claimed to have stolen was never actually an embryo? What if it was the fetus that Lulu had thought was lost? It was an inconceivable prospect, but it suited the Cassadine style of deceit well. Technology, science, and Helena's relentless desire for control may have enabled her to save what might have been lost. And if that were the case, if Charlotte was not just Lulu's kid, but also Dylan's, everything they thought they knew would be shattered. What happens next? Dylan's homecoming may alter the path of history in Port Charles. If the truth about Charlotte were revealed, it would be more than a revelation, it would be an earthquake. Lulu would be confronted with the unthinkable, a daughter she never knew she had, born from a decision she never dreamed could be reversed. Dylan, too, would have to deal with the idea that his child had been reared by the most dangerous family in Port Charles. And then there was Valentine Cassadine. Will he try to keep Charlotte as his own, regardless of the truth? Or would he have to accept the idea that she was never his to begin with? One thing was certain, the past was no longer satisfied to remain hidden. The Quartermaines, Cassadines, and Spencers were all on collision course. By the time the dust settled, nothing would be the same again. General Hospital Spoilers Weekly Preview February 17th to 21st, Elizabeth and Joss face Cyrus this week on GH. Valentine's Day arrives, but it's unclear whether it will be a happy one. Because Cyrus is agitated and ready to strike. The General Hospital Spoilers Weekly Video Promo for the week of February 17, 2025, is now available. Discover what explosive circumstances will occur this week in Port Charles. Joyous Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is this week on GH, and it could be more deadly than joyous. Curtis begins the festivities at the Savoy in front of an audience that includes his wife Portia, Lucas, Brad, Brooklyn, and Spinelli, who clap. What amusement does Curtis have planned for this romantic night? Meanwhile, it appears that Cyrus Renault is everyone's target for the Digitalis killer. Elizabeth lays it out. She is aware of Cyrus's capabilities and past actions. We believe that Cyrus has killed at least 5 people, and he's not going to stop killing until somebody stops him, she says with great force. At the same moment, we witness Cyrus preparing another vial of Digitalis. After all, he's no longer allowed at GH or Turning Woods, so he might have to hunt his next target in the wild. Elizabeth and Joss must be on their guard right away. Cyrus arrives at Elizabeth's door, and the Grim Reaper captures Joss in the midst of her relentless Nancy Drew ing. Will Cyrus, the serial killer, successfully release another soul from this world? Is there anyone else who should be keeping an eye out for Cyrus? Who will stop him? Can Joss or Elizabeth do it? Steve Burton's ex-wife is unsure about his fiancé, texts show frustration. According to General Hospital Spoilers, Steve Burton has the ideal reason to look forward to the new year. He is engaged to Michelle Lundstrom, the love of his life. However, a text exchange suggests that Steve and Michelle's lives may not be as idyllic as they appear. Continue reading to find out what social media users are saying about Steve, Michelle, and his ex-wife Cherie. Steve Burton is happily engaged. Steve Burton announced his engagement to followers last month. Text messages obtained during Burton and Gustin's current legal struggle supposedly reveal a feud between Burton, Michelle, and Cherie. Burton and Cherie Gustin were married from 1999 till 2023. Fans discovered that the marriage was in turmoil when Cherie posted a selfie of herself pregnant. Fans flocked to congratulate Steve, who had to reveal that the child was not his. Cherie has now had another kid with her new partner, and Steve is now engaged to Michelle Lundstrom, best known for her role on Netflix's Barbecue Showdown. According to In Touch, text messages between Gustin and Burton may indicate lingering concerns with Lundstrom. The former couple is currently involved in a legal struggle for child custody. According to court filings related to Burton's custody fight with Gustin, Burton left California and relocated to Tennessee on the apparent idea that Gustin wished to relocate the family. In a communication dated October 22, 2024, Burton wrote, "Sherry, you have to stop this. I work my *** off to care for everyone. Everyone. You moved and moved back, and I'm not sure what world we're living in where that isn't true, and it's documented." Steve Burton moved from California to Tennessee. Burton noted that the move kept him from spending time with their daughter, Brooklyn. "Not one person believes I talked you into moving? You believe it is acceptable to behave in this manner and actually inform your lawyer, which is disturbing. And now you think it's okay not to alternate holidays?" Gustin responded, "Enough with the moving and returning. Nobody is claiming I didn't buy a house there. It was a terrible decision, and you know quite well you kept telling me, the future is not in California. I literally returned to California after 2 weeks in October 2023. You had a house until May 2024, but you decided to leave early because you couldn't get to Tennessee quickly enough. You stated that you want to be there." Text message between Steve Burton and Sherry Gustin. A message from Gustin appeared to reference Lundstrom. "You're simply unhappy because I ruined your plan to be closer to your girlfriend. That is okay. Live wherever you want, but please stop saying I moved and moved back." She continued, "I accommodate every time you want to see Brooklyn. I never stop you. I tell you, if the tables were turned, you would not do the same for me." Burton added, "You're so angry you stopped speaking her name and had to say girlfriend. Sheesh. Remember when you said Michelle and then stopped? Please get assistance." Burton is now involved in a big front burner plot on GH. To keep people safe, he has agreed to reveal that he is the father of Sasha Gilmore's baby. Tell us, GH lovers, what you think of this exciting storyline. For more possible paternity secrets following General Hospital's Gio/Dante reveal, are there more secret daddies in Port Charles? There's been a lot of baby daddy drama on General Hospital recently. After revealing Dante as Joe's father and Jason as Sasha's baby's father, it seems unlikely that there are any more mysterious fathers in Port Charles. Dex's father. While we all hope that PCPD cutie Dex isn't truly dead, another mystery surrounds the fallen cop, who his genuine parents are. Very little was given about his background, but enough to conclude that he was the family oddball. Could this be because he was adopted at birth? Given how he arrived in Port Charles dressed as a small Jason, the best explanation is that his biological parents are Jason and Courtney. If GH pulls off a heteropaternal superfecundation situation like Days of Our Lives did with Sammy's twins, he and his sort of enemy Spencer would be brothers, or perhaps twins. Coming up, Aces, with baby Ace as the heir to the Cassadine fortune. Now that his mother is presumed dead, his father is in prison, and his older brother is presumed dead, there must be some drama surrounding his infamous family before he can claim his Cassadine name. Insert the big father revelation. It's a hard shot, given Spencer's claim not to have slept with Esme while she slept with Nicholas, but what if they were all mistaken and Spencer was truly Ace's father? It would undoubtedly throw a wrench in the works if Spencer rose from the grave and won Trina back. Custody chaos. Avery's custody has been a hot topic for a time, with a protracted custody dispute looming over her parents' heads. But now that Sunny and Ava have reached an agreement, may it have all been for nothing? Avery's paternity was called into doubt the moment she was conceived when Ava cheated on Morgan with his father. Despite Sunny's victory as Avery's father, if Morgan has always been her father, it would disrupt countless ties throughout Port Charles and render Sunny's continual battle with Ava pointless. Chase has already experienced the "Who's My Daddy" scenario, in which everyone was confused if Gregory, the guy he grew up with, or Finn, his older brother, was his biological father. His mother, Jackie, obviously moved around, having slept with Finn while in a relationship with Gregory, but what if they weren't the only guys she slept with? The recent reunion of John Stamos and Demi Moore has made us wistful for the old days in Port Charles, when Moore played Jackie and Stamos played Blackie. What if Jackie teamed up with Blackie to produce Chase? After all, Chase, like Blackie, is an excellent singer. Sasha's journey to motherhood, a gender reveal with emotional stakes as Sasha Gilmore Corbin prepares to bring a new life into the world. The lingering question remains, will she have a boy or a girl? The answer will undoubtedly be a watershed moment for Sasha, bringing a mix of emotions, memories, and fresh starts. In the coming weeks, a routine hospital appointment will bring the long-awaited surprise. If Sasha decides to find out the gender before her delivery date, she will have more time to comprehend what is to come. Given Sasha's past with parenting, this discovery may be more significant than most people realize. A painful past, a hopeful future for those who recall Sasha's painful journey. Her first child, Liam Corbin, was born prematurely and died shortly after delivery. That heartbreaking loss nearly destroyed her, and even as she moves forward, the pain of losing her son lingers in the backdrop of all her decisions. If the doctors tell Sasha she is carrying another baby boy, she will surely experience mixed feelings. A baby boy would evoke thoughts of Liam, the dreams she had for him, the affection she never had the opportunity to properly express. The prospect of having a second kid may cause Sasha to experience anguish and terror, as if history were to repeat itself. At the same time, she may find comfort in knowing that Liam is looking over her and sending his younger brother as a healing gift. This could be an opportunity for Sasha to rediscover motherhood, enabling herself to love without the weight of the past determining her future. A new beginning for a daughter? On the other side, it's possible that Sasha's doctor may tell she's expecting a girl. This could trigger a whole other set of emotions, ones of renewal, a fresh start, and the opportunity to raise a kid without the burden of comparison to her late son. A baby girl might represent a new beginning for Sasha, allowing her to focus on what lies ahead rather than what she has lost. She might take pleasure in visualizing her daughter's future, how she will raise her to be strong, independent, and free of the sad ties of the past. Of course, even as Sasha focuses on the gender reveal and the prospect of motherhood, there is one unanswered issue: her baby's paternity. As it stands, the world believes Jason Morgan is the father, a well-crafted cover story intended to shield Michael Corinthos from the consequences of their affair. With Michael still healing and unable to confront the matter head-on, Sasha and Jason continue to play their roles, protecting him from more complications. But how long can they keep up the ruse? Will the baby's gender reveal complicate matters further? What happens next? Whatever the outcome, Sasha's pregnancy will be full with both joy and challenges. Whether she welcomes a son or a daughter, she is ready to face this new chapter with courage and hope. However, with so many mysteries still hidden in the shadows, the voyage ahead promises many twists and turns. As Port Charles watches and waits, one thing is clear: Sasha's journey is far from over. Maxie has become the best character on General Hospital. Here's why. How much will she improve? Maxie, Maria Maximiliana, or Maximista, was born at General Hospital. She hasn't had an easy life, but she's recently grown into herself. She is prepared to take over Port Charles. Frisco and Felicia have a daughter named Supergirl Maxie. She required a heart transplant as a child and received one from her cousin. B.J. Jones was killed in a bus accident. Her mother was not present for part of her life, while her father was absent for the majority of it. Mac primarily reared her, and she considers him her father. Her sister Georgie was slain as an adolescent. Maxie was a wayward teen who got herself into problems time and again. She has made some questionable choices throughout the years. However, after becoming a mother, she matured and left her wild nature in the past. She discovered a passion for fashion and a genuine love in Nathan. Unfortunately, Maxie's situation worsens once Nathan is slain. The fashionista fell for the villainous Peter, who later attempted to murder her and steal her baby. But her spark was still visible when she battled back against her terrible husband. Then there was a brief relationship with Austin that went nowhere. The once bold Maxie faded into the background, with little storyline beyond from attending deception meetings. She's back. Our once spunky Maxie has returned. She not only looks amazing, but she is also taking over Port Charles. She has a terrific connection with Felicia and Mac, is a wonderful mother to her 3 children, and is back with Spinelli, where she belongs. Maxie has emerged as the voice of reason on GH. Mature Maxie is attempting to mend wounds between her 2 best friends, Lulu and Brooke Lynn, who are not particularly fond of each other. The fashionista takes control of deception and is the only one who can put Lucy in her place. Then there's her expanding extended family. She welcomed new cousins Cody and Sasha with wide arms and is coaching them through the complexities of being a Scorpio. Her mommy bear instincts surfaced recently when she became protective of her pal Carly. She had no qualms about approaching WSB agent Brennan and urging him not to damage his new love interest. She has spent enough time around the WSB to know what will happen. This Maxie is Superwoman, and she is well on her way to become the matriarch of not only the Scorpios, but the entire town of Port Charles. She's a joy to watch. Are you pleased with the improved Maxie? Please let us know in the comments. Tracy Quartermaine was never one for maternal emotion. Her approach to motherhood had always been pragmatic and measured. Ned Quartermaine had experienced the brunt of that alienation, being sent to boarding institutions and nurtured on privilege rather than parental affection. But Dylan Quartermaine? He had been a different story, or so she had convinced herself once. Tracy hadn't mentioned Dylan's name in years. She was fixated on everyone except him: Violet Finn, Sasha Corbin, and Cody Bell, an unusual trio for a lady not known for her emotional investments. But then, as if by a force beyond her control, she said his name. And in that instant, a possibility began to emerge. Tracy was not one for idle nostalgia. If she was thinking about Dylan after all this time, it could only indicate that something, or someone, was about to bring him back to Port Charles. The ghosts of young love Dylan's time in town was not without its dramatic twists. Many people remembered his teenage infatuation with Georgie Jones, which captivated hearts before tragically ending. But much fewer remembered his brief but crucial relationship with Lulu Spencer. Their relationship was quick, reckless, and ultimately devastating. A moment of teenage love had resulted in an unwanted pregnancy, a decision, and finally, an end. Lulu had decided to terminate the pregnancy, which had permanently altered their paths. Dylan vanished shortly after, only to reappearance years later, engrossed in the whirling world of the Spencer family's endless escapades. He had attempted in vain to restart something with Lulu, but by then, she had been seriously involved with Dante Falconeri. That chapter appeared to be closed. But now, with Lulu no longer in a coma but still missing from her old life, and Dante left to mourn, the door had cracked open once more. What would Dylan find if he walked through it? The Cassadine connection, a surprising twist. Charlotte Cassadine had always been a mystery cloaked in a legacy of secrets. Raised under the dark shadows of the Cassadine dynasty, her origins had always been linked to Valentine Cassadine's surrogacy narrative and Helena Cassadine's devious maneuvers. For years, it was widely assumed that Charlotte was formed from an embryo stolen from Lulu, a piece of her daughter she had never agreed to bring into the world. What if the tale was a lie? Helena Cassadine was no stranger to deception, and she possessed the ability to manipulate fate to her advantage. What if the embryo she claimed to have stolen was never actually an embryo? What if it was the fetus that Lulu had thought was lost? It was an inconceivable prospect, but it suited the Cassadine style of deceit well. Technology, science, and Helena's relentless desire for control may have enabled her to save what might have been lost. And if that were the case, if Charlotte was not just Lulu's kid, but also Dylan's, everything they thought they knew would be shattered. What happens next? Dylan's homecoming may alter the path of history in Port Charles. If the truth about Charlotte were revealed, it would be more than a revelation, it would be an earthquake. Lulu would be confronted with the unthinkable, a daughter she never knew she had, born from a decision she never dreamed could be reversed. Dylan, too, would have to deal with the idea that his child had been reared by the most dangerous family in Port Charles. And then there was Valentine Cassadine. Will he try to keep Charlotte as his own, regardless of the truth? Or would he have to accept the idea that she was never his to begin with? One thing was certain, the past was no longer satisfied to remain hidden. The Quartermaines, Cassadines, and Spencers were all on collision course. By the time the dust settled, nothing would be the same again. Surprise recasting for General Hospital, find out which soap star is playing Lucky. Guy Wilson has just gotten Lucky Spencer, that is. The Days of Our Lives veteran, who took over as Will Horton from Chandler Massey in 2014, has been hired by General Hospital to replace Jonathan Jackson beginning Tuesday, February 18th, according to Soap Opera Digest. The five-time Emmy winner's absence was not explained, but he is claimed to have returned to work and will be back on TV before the end of the month. Wilson, of course, is no stranger to taking on parts created by other actors. Aside from his appearance on Days of Our Lives, where his character Will was murdered by the necktie killer, he visited General Hospital in 2006 as Lucky's father, Luke. Previously, the role of Lucky was permanently recast twice during Jackson's absence, first with Jacob Young and subsequently with Greg Vaughn. Wilson isn't as baby-faced as he was on Days. Credit, Everett Collection, Howard Wise/JPI Jackson, who in real life is married to a former castmate, the former Lisa Voltaggio, who played Brenda Barrett lookalike Hannah Scott, made his latest return to General Hospital in 2024. Just as All My Children alum Alexa Havens was about to take over the role of Lucky's sister Lulu from previous portrayer Emmy Rylan. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.